Hi, readers. Today we're continuing with our unit, Building a Reading Life, in our reading workshop, mini lesson number 3. So, as you know, we're focusing on how to make our reading the best it can be. So, we just want to say that we are proud of you, Miss Harris and Miss G, Miss Michelle, and all of your teachers are very proud of how you're reading longer and longer. We're getting those reading logs in and we see that you're tracking your progress. We also see that you're reading more than 10 or 15 minutes, and that's doing a great job becoming a super reader. So kudos to you. Yay. Good job. So now, today, we're going to draw on our reading interest to create systems for finding and sharing books within a community of readers. All right, so we're going to do things a little differently today. And so, as you know, we have our anchor chart that we refer to. We are focusing on setting up systems for finding, sharing great books. So, what is an inquiry? Today, that's what we're going to do, an inquiry or investigation. What are you thinking it is? So, here we see that an inquiry or investigation is an act of asking for information. And you can often do this with yourself. What makes me the best reader I can be? What helps me read longer and longer? We examine something for discoveries or answers. And this is something that scientists do all the time. They inquire, they experiment, they create theories, and then they create new discoveries or new answers to solve different questions, right? And engineers too. Engineers, they look at problems and they find solutions, but they're inquiring on how they can solve problems. So, readers, we do that too. We reflect and we're like, I didn't do my best reading that day. What's a good system for me? We worked on that last time. So now we're looking at what if other people, we want them to read and enjoy reading too? What systems would be really good for them? So today, our Walt, we are learning to draw on our reading interests to create systems for finding and sharing books within a community of readers. What we're looking for, your teachers are looking for you to create a workspace or system that works best for you. We're going to do this a little differently since we're not directly or all together in the classroom, but we are going to think about this question. Here's our inquiry. What are some systems that can help readers find really great books? We could do this virtually and we can do this in person as well. Sharing and talking about books and suggesting that other readers that we know their interests are the same might enjoy that book too. Okay, so hold on to that question. What are some systems that can help readers find really great books? Okay, and here's where this video will be. All right. Okay, so thinking about that question, and you're going to discuss this with anyone around you. What are some systems that can help readers find really great books? Think about you as a reader. You look for certain types of genres. Maybe you look for fairy tales. Maybe you look for fantasy books. Maybe you look for more biographies. Maybe you like nonfiction more. So, all of these are what makes you interested in books. So, now what could help other readers find those really good or those enjoyable books? Take a minute to think. I'm thinking about those categories. I like finding books in a genre, and all of those books are that genre. And then I can just pick because that's my favorite genre. I also know that sometimes other people will give me book recommendations and they'll say, oh, this was a really good book. You should read it. And then that makes me want to look it up and then I'll go read it. So what did you come up with? You can share with a partner, a friend, family member, anyone, a stuffed animal, yourself. Okay, so here are some of the things that I know you created or came up with, categorizing those books into like their favorite genres or interests, right? Um, we can set up book talks or book buzzes where it's like, oh, I read this book. And it was so entertaining because the character, his name was Harry, and then he made like this green slime in school, and I love slime. Those type of conversations will get other friends excited about reading that book too. We can also rate those books, right? 3-star, 4-star. We can invite classmates or family members to share what their favorite books were, right? When they were a child, like, oh, my favorite book was Corduroy. I used to read that all the time, the teddy bear that was in the mall. And so now that family member has shared a children's book with you. And now you could try looking for that book. Maybe you'll like it too. You can interview older siblings, schoolmates, or just older children who maybe did third grade already and say, like, oh, what were some good books that you read? I want to try and read those too. You can look up lists of award-winning books from Amazon or New York Times and other publications. Usually there's an award badge or placard on the front cover or back cover. Newbery Awards and Caldecott Awards. Those books are usually great books, and they've been given that award because they're so good. And I've added that list in here for you too. And there it goes again. I must really love rating books because I have it here again: 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, based on how much you enjoyed reading it. If you have any ideas that you want to add to this list, there's a Google Doc where all of you can add to the same document and just write your idea on how you find new, interesting books that you really love. You can add it to that document called Finding Great Books. Okay. So, readers, you're going to choose books you love. That's a really important part of it. Finding those great books. You know who you are as a reader. You know what interests you. This is a system that will work for you every time. And this is something you can always do in your reading life. So now think about those favorite genres that we mentioned before: nonfiction, fiction, folktale, fairy tale, historical fiction, biographies, adventure. Make a list of those books. Maybe that'll help you keep track of, like, oh, I really love these type of books. Let me find other books. Maybe there's a series. Like we found out that First Day Jitters is a series where Mrs. Hartwell has all these different things that happen during the school year. And that's something that I really enjoy reading. And maybe you do too. When you talk to others, see what they enjoyed reading, and then you can try reading that. And then rate. You can even write it on a post-it if you have a physical book. Like, oh, I give this book 5 stars because it was top notch. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. It was funny. It was action packed. And it had really good comedy. Or it's like a graphic novel. And I know others like graphic novels too. You can use those ratings to see if you want to read that book. So don't forget to try these things whenever you're book shopping. And don't forget to tell other readers about those books. Here's a list I provided for you that has all the links for children's books that won awards and also best-selling books and Amazon's list of favorite children's books. You can use this when you're book shopping also. All right, so your next steps, readers. Right now, you're going to find your reading spot, read for 25 to 30 minutes. Now, if this is a day that you're book shopping, one of those systems from our chart we just created, Finding Great Books, you can do that. Try one of those. And then go on Epic, Raz Kids, or in your physical book and see if it's a book you really love. There is a short assignment inside of your reading workshop attached to this called Recommending Books to Others. And it just asks, how would you recommend that book? Right? What reader would be interested in the type of books that you enjoy? And how would you talk about that book? Remember, if you have any new ideas that come into your mind, you can add it to Finding Great Books. Okay. We look forward to seeing how you would recommend books to others. And if you have any new ideas, then feel free to add it to Finding Great Books. See you next time, readers. Bye.